Dev.
Hello.
I'm drinking on East Coast time today.
Isn't it wonderful?
Mm-hmm.
A little 5:30 cocktail on the Friday.
Yeah, 4:30 here.
Oh,
I'm in Texas, but I'm pretending like I'm in Louisville today. Before we get started on today's subject, I have one question for you.
What is it?
How's your husband reacting to this Tiger Woods news?
About the girlfriend or whatever? He's very confused. He's like, wait, is he still like dating her? And she's saying this stuff. And he's asking me, and I'm just like, look, I don't have time for Tiger Woods tea right now. This past couple weeks of Bravo have taken over. I'll get into it this weekend. I have no idea what Tiger Woods is even up to.
I know that man. He can't stay out of trouble. But my husband is in denial. My husband is like the biggest Tiger Woods fan ever, so he's just like he's like Team Tiger forever, and I'm like, you really shouldn't say that. Yeah.
No. Wait until everything comes out. Like I'm like saying that.
Yeah. I'm like this one seems a little bit fuzzy. But just had to put that out there before we get into today's stuff. Wow. But in more relevant news, yeah. So touched on this last week, obviously, as I had to, which if you watched the YouTube video of last week's podcast, you saw that I was in 2 different outfits because I recorded on 2 different days because the Scandival news hadn't broke yet when I first recorded. And I was like, I can't put out a pop culture podcast after this news broke and not mention it. So I had to like weave that in there. But now more shit has come out and I had to get my resident Bravo expert and self-proclaimed Bravo Rain Man on the podcast.
A mess, child.
So here we are. And we're back. Whole mess. So we're back to talk about Scandival, which I'm rebranding as tomfoolery. I think that's a missed opportunity. And we're also going to talk about the conclusion of Real Housewives of Potomac. We're going to touch on Real Housewives of Miami, but I'm not caught up yet. And we're going to tease a little bit of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, what to expect in the post-Lisa Rinna era. So,
God.
First, let's back on all the way up to this VPR stuff. Deaven, tell me about how you found out about Tom and Raquel. Tell me about your initial reaction and walk me through that, your emotional experience.
I was gagged. I saw it on Twitter and I was like, wait, that's a misprint because it was obviously Schwartz. And I was reading and just my facial journey. This is like my Pearl Harbor. I felt like how the Americans felt like listening to the radio, just getting the new updates. Because when One Direction broke up, that was my 9/11 because we could see the television coverage. But with Scandival, it's like we're just getting little tidbits of information. And then as more of the shit came out, it's even more grimy. And trying to explain to people who don't really know the Vanderpump Rules dynamic, they don't understand because they're so incestuous together. You need like a map to kind of go through how disgusting that is.
Yes.
I was trying to explain it to my husband.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's really hard to like draw. Yeah.
It's just like, hey, if your best friend got divorced and I was the only one who was nice to him, I started fucking him. That's literally kind of how it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he stayed in our guest room. When I saw that,
oh god, yeah, it's crazy because it's like there are marriages involved, or like there's engagements involved, marriages involved, there's homes involved, businesses involved, there's a lot of mess involved. It's not just like dating relationships because people keep comparing it to like the Jax and Stassi and Kristen thing, but that's like those are like 23, 24-year-olds like just kind of fucking around, and it's not the same.
Yeah,
these are grown people problems.
I don't even know how to even
these are grown folk problems.
I don't even know where to even begin because it's just Tom never fooled me. I feel vindicated in my Sandoval hate because
me too.
Everyone always shits on Vanderpump Rules, but it's a very good way to showcase toxic male friendships because they have like I was telling you earlier, Sandoval had his bumbling oaf of a friend, Jax, with his like bazooka of bad behavior. So Schwartz and Sandoval could just be like, "Oh, I'm the good guy. I'm not as bad as him." But no, never fooled me once.
Well, and in some ways, like Schwartz is also a bumbling oaf, just in a different way than Jax. It's like they're like the devil and the angel version of the bumbling oaf, because Schwartz is like the cute little, like you want to pinch his cheeks, like, oh, you're just such a little idiot. And then like Jax, you're like, oh, whatever. Jax is just an idiot. And then Tom Sandoval like ends up looking like the like smart, put together hero, but really he just surrounds himself with people who are like dumber than him.
Yes. And Schwartz, I hate that weaponized, incompetent baby talking. I thought it was you, Bubba. That's why I made out with her. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. And it's so manipulative.
Like, yes, but also for the longest time, I did think that he and Katie were the perfect match. To be honest with you, like, I didn't think they were ever going to get divorced. I was kind of surprised to see they were getting divorced because I thought that their dysfunction would kind of be the type of dysfunction that lasts forever. Yes. I didn't think that Katie was ever going to be like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I'm actually like proud of her because she's pleasantly surprised me, because I really thought that she was going to be just one of those. I think that Schwartz would have been happy with that. I think Schwartz would have happily been one of those couples that stayed in just like a dysfunctional marriage for 70 years, whatever.
Absolutely. And I remember when Sandoval was talking about like, oh, he's a battered wife, talking about Schwartz. Schwartz is in
kicks the door open and drag.
Yes. Schwartz is in an abusive relationship, but it wasn't with Katie. It's with Sandoval. That is an abusive relationship. That's what it is. It's not Katie.
Dude. Oh my God. Clip it. Yes. That is so true. That is actually so true. Yes. And but they're all in an abusive relationship with Sandoval. Like Sandoval has always been kind of like the puppet master of the entire group. And Stassi's podcast was annoying the other day. I listened to like 35 minutes of it and I was like, I can't anymore. But it was really annoying. But one thing she said that I thought was valid is she was like, I think part of the reason Sandoval didn't like me is because I was the only one who ever like pointed the finger at him. And he was like very protected and he felt like I was protected, which I agree that Stassi was protected.
Yeah.
I felt like I think that they had the issue with each other because they played the same role, but Stassi played it in the girl group and Sandoval played it in the guy group. But like Stassi was the most powerful she was the queen bee of the girls. Like Sandoval was the queen bee of the guys. Yeah. So, but anyway, Stassi was like, I always like called Sandoval out for his bullshit, which is true. And so she was like, I think that's why Sandoval always was trying to like get me in trouble, which I agree with. Like, I think that Sandoval was always trying to find like a scapegoat. Yeah. Snitch on anyone, really. He was always like, hey, everybody look away from me. And like, just don't just always needed a scapegoat. And like, okay, I want to talk to you about Miami Girl.
I believe that always. I always believed about Miami Girl, and I miss Crazy Kristen when she flew that bitch in and had her show up to the bar.
But don't you think that's exactly where she went wrong?
I do, but I appreciated it. Kristen has terrible delivery. If she would have just...
Yes!
And it just didn't make any sense on why she was doing it, because she was with James, and her and James were like inspiring.
Yeah, it was like, it was so clear that she was right, but it was just like, but your motivation is what's being brought into question because you're going so overboard. If you would have just been like, hey, this is what happened, take it or leave it. But also, why did Miami Girl go to Kristen?
Right. And Kristen spent that money that they clearly did not have for a flight from Miami to Los Angeles. Like, they were all they were broke. Like,
still in those apartments.
Yes, I think it was Sandoval's apartment where he was straightening his hair, and she cut on the microwave, and the power went out, and he got so mad at her. Like, their apartments were so disgusting.
Oh my God. That was the first I actually remember exactly what scene you're talking about, because that was the first time I was like, I fucking hate that guy. That was the first scene with Sandoval that I was like, ooh, I hate him. Where I like turned on him forever after that straightener scene.
I just didn't
That was
like
a big deal for me.
I was so shocked that I even liked Vanderpump Rules, because I don't like my Bravo celebrities poor. I really don't appreciate it. Like, she's probably really sweet, but Gina on Orange County gives me such anxiety and stress. So I'm shocked that I even liked Vanderpump Rules, because they were just, I guess it was more real life.
It's different if they're all poor.
Everybody.
It's different if they're all poor. Yeah. And they're working for Vanderpump, who's super rich. So there's still some of that, like, when they go over to Villa Rosa, you know, and they're serving rich people, and like Sheena's fucking Eddie Cibrian, and
that was
all that fun
the
stuff.
Crossovers. That was a perfect crossover. The Beverly Hills crossover.
What a great episode.
I loved it. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a dinner party from hell episode.
Mm-hmm.
That was a classic. Ugh, loved it. Okay, so something I haven't covered because it came out after the last episode is the second round of PR statements that came out from both Tom and Raquel.
Tomatoes.
So the first statement that Tom, tomatoes, garbage. Tom's first statement was terrible. And he clearly had no help with it. Tom's first statement came from the heart, and it was he apologized to Schwartz.
Exactly, what that's Schwartz,
yeah.
And not your common law married wife
partner. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Schwartz, that I did this to you.
Yeah. So then the second one, he said Ariana's name like 4 to 6 times, and it sounded heartfelt, so you know he didn't write it, but it was a good statement. But then Raquel, her statement finally comes out, and she says in it, "I'm not a victim." She says that sentence, but the entire statement is about how she is a victim.
You're acting like it.
Saying that she's a codependent.
Yeah, she's addicted.
And like maybe she is codependent. Maybe she is addicted to love, but like all those people on that show are like cluster B personality types and are addicted to some kind of attention and love. And that's why they were cast on that show. And not everybody has perpetrated these egregious crimes against each other. So, well, they kind of have, but not to this degree.
Not to that degree. She has been on this entire I'm not a victim, but. And then the whole thing with Watch What Happens Live and with Sheena, I'm pissed off that Sheena said she didn't hit her. She should have said, like, yes, I did.
I believe that Sheena roughed her up.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like. Because I believe that Sheena roughed her up. But it sounds like Sheena and her lawyer are like, I did not punch her.
Yeah, I didn't.
She said in her police report that I punched her, and I did not ball up my fist and punch her.
I did an open-handed slap. I didn't punch you.
Yeah. I bet she slapped her. I bet she pushed her up against the brick, like she said.
Yeah, but
because in her police report it said that, and she didn't dispute that part. So I bet all of that happened. I bet she just didn't go, boom.
Sheena, and
that's just the only part that she's. Bitch, I've been a Sheena fan. Let me just have a minute. Let me have a minute.
I love
because
Sheena.
everybody in the VPR universe has been coming for me for like the last decade about how I am a She-Shu fan. And I have been a ride or die Sheena fan. I know that she's cringy. Yes. And if you like anybody who likes Teresa, Luann, Ramona, like, you know, Vicky, any of those kind of like housewives that you're Lisa Barlow, like any of those kinds of housewives, if that's who you like to watch on television, then you're gonna like Sheena. Because Sheena, first of all, she's a loyal friend, and I dig that. She is ride or die for Ariana, which, hello, we've clearly are seeing now. She's ride or die for Ariana, even though I don't care for Ariana, but Sheena does. Sheena's a great friend to anybody who's loyal to her. If you show her loyalty, she's going to ride for you.
And they're so
also
mean to her too.
They're so
On
mean
the
to her,
cast,
and
they're
she
so mean
is
to her.
and she is willing to laugh at herself. She is willing to make a fool of herself and laugh about it with everybody else, like with her
She's
good
in
as
on it.
gold
She's in on the
shit.
joke.
She's in on her
that
own
crop
joke,
top
and
wedding dress.
yes, and her being like, drag me, I don't care, I liked it. I think that's cool. I dig people like that, and like in this house we're Sheena fans. Stuart's a Sheena fan too. So during the pandemic, I made my husband watch Vanderpump Rules from the beginning.
Oh
so
my god,
he's a huge fan of Vanderpump Rules. He's actually the person who broke the news to me. He saw it before I did it about this whole thing.
Go Stu.
I know. He's into it. So, but he's with me. He likes Sheena too. So I know she's annoying. I get it. But being annoying is not like that big of a deal.
It's not a crime.
So I feel really vindicated right now as an OG Sandoval hater, Sheena lover. I'm like, I love it.
I think the reason why Sheena's so pissed off because she's been getting a lot of shit on the interwebs for the way she's been acting
about the
this
Katie
season with
thing.
Raquel and Schwartz. So now she's like, all right, well now I look like, here I am with egg on my face. I'm gonna have to whoop your ass
like,
now.
You set me up.
You fucking bitch. The entire time. So now I look like a fucking idiot, even more than usual. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yes. Well, and that's what I mean about Sheena being a loyal friend. She's like, I am such a good friend, and you made me be such a bad friend to Ariana by putting me in this position.
Exactly.
You fucked me over by way of fucking her over. That's so fucked. I feel bad I feel bad for like Sheena and Ariana's friendship in that way. But I like that Ariana clearly like sees that Sheena knew nothing about it, you know.
Yeah, and this was for
months. So on Kristen's podcast, Kristen said that Schwartz has known about it for the last month. So that means that to me means that during this filming stuff, when they were kissing and shit, he didn't know. So does that mean that Sandoval and Raquel set Schwartz up?
Yes, and Schwartz is too blind. He'll never get rid of Sandoval. But you realize your friend just like screwed you over. Your best friend, your lover, basically set you up. And then the internet is so crazy. I love how people are sending like bad reviews to like the Tom Tom and the Sandoval sandwich shop. They're like, they have rats.
It's so dumb though, because it's like a national news story at this point, and they're like worried about that. And it's like, hey, yeah, like people might not go, but it's not because of your bad reviews. It's because of the bad press.
Yeah.
It's not the like.
It's not because of
it's not the reviews. It's not like people like sabotaging your business. It's because you're getting bad PR right now, and you're not where people want to spend their money.
Exactly. Not on you. They'll get the stuffed goat cheese balls from
Pump or Sir.
Yeah.
I don't, so dumb. Okay, so the PR statements were trash, boo-boo. I mean, just terrible. So Raquel, I guess she's like I'm getting therapy, but she keeps like getting like these like she keeps doing like pap walks, which is crazy to me. And then she said she was leaving LA, but then she was photographed like right outside LA. And she said she was going home to be with her family, but which her family's in Arizona, but she was photographed in California.
This whole press thing, I don't know, because when Tom Sandoval was caught in her apartment, and then the next day she's like sending out all the lawyers.
She's like
letters. Revenge porn.
So here's the way that I interpret that. It seems to me as though she is threatening Ariana and her camp because Ariana sent that video to herself when she found it on Tom's phone.
Collecting
so
evidence.
she's
She didn't
threatening
post it, yeah.
right, but it's like she's threatening Ariana for like disseminating it instead of like Tom of taking it. Even though she's claiming that she like didn't like took it without his consent, which I don't believe, because like doesn't FaceTime tell you when FaceTime tells you when somebody takes a screenshot?
Yeah, and
so
like
wouldn't
pauses.
FaceTime tell you when somebody's recording?
That's what I was thinking too. But then again, if she would have listened to Stassi, the earlier seasons, never record yourself having sex. People are always gonna find out when people are. It's always gonna come out. I'm not victim blaming. I'm not at all. But I just always kept that.
Well, because she's not a victim. I'm sorry, she's not a victim because nobody's seen it. Yeah, she's not a victim. A victim of what? A victim of being exposed, of getting her affair exposed. What is she a victim of? She has not, like, this is not a Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian moment. This has not been disseminated. It's not on the interwebs. Nobody even like, and like, please, no.
And just the thought of those two
people just know that it exists.
Like,
I know
they both have the worst voices. Just the thought of them like having a sexy conversation is probably the worst.
I was going oh my god, the dirty talk, because they're both so whiny. Yeah, I was about to make a TikTok yesterday because that clip of at the very end of the episode from this week when she's like, well, good thing you don't have like a man to fucking like
for me to take from
be around. It's like, bitch, what language was that?
And then you have Sandoval.
What are you saying?
Who needs a lozenge or like a whatever? What's a little neti pot? He's like, Ariana, I just really want us to be together. You don't talk to me, Ariana.
I just have been working so hard.
Okay. I hate him. I've never liked Sandoval.
I know. I have no respect for that man and his gap teeth. Gap teeth on a woman, chic. Cute. Gap teeth on a man, jail.
Grow up.
Yeah.
As a man, why do you
As a man, why do you have gap teeth? Yeah. Okay, so Kristen's filming. I'm pumped about this. She's the only one that I want back. I don't want to see fucking Jax. I'm excited about Jax and Brittany on Watch What Happens Live, but I don't need to see Jax in this world again. He's like 50. He's seriously like closer to my mom's age than mine. I don't need this.
And he's been lying with his
I
age
don't
the
need
whole time.
Stassi. Till like season 6. He's like at TomTom. He's like, I'm turning 40.
And everyone's just like, wait. I haven't seen any of his tweets because he blocked me. So I've been asking you, what has he been saying about it? I can't see.
Everybody is blocked by Jax. Everybody's blocked by Jax. I only haven't been blocked by Jax because I have so many Twitter accounts.
I mean, on my burner,
I can't be blocked by anybody. Yeah, I can't be blocked by anybody because I have too many accounts on every form of social media.
I didn't even add him. I just said his name after too much wine, and then he found it and blocked me. I'm just like, I didn't even at you. I was just saying.
Oh my God, he's so ridiculous. I'm excited to have Kristen back. I think that Kristen kind of got swept up in Stassi's bullshit. Yeah. Personally, I think Stassi showed a lot of her like racist tendencies throughout the years, and like she deserved her firing because of several instances, and Kristen like did this one thing with Stassi and then got fired
over
like
Jax.
At the same time, and I didn't. Yeah, really. Yeah, exactly.
Like, you dumb bitches over Jax. You really gonna call the police on Faith over? If anything, the cops should have been called because they were fucking in front of that old woman she was taking care of. That's the cops.
Exactly.
Should have been called.
Abuse. Senior abuse. God. I know. Oh God. Ew. So gross. Oh God. Who was I telling about that? Maybe my therapist. was maybe telling my therapist about that the other day. I was like, oh yeah. And then these two, they were like, oh yeah. I think it was my therapist. And she was like, oh my God.
What kind of show is that? Did they air it? Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she watches Bravo. She just doesn't watch Vanderpump Rules. So she gets it.
She should start.
Okay, so but Jax and Brittany, I guess so Jax tweeted, he was like, see you soon, #watch what happens live, and then he deleted it, and then he goes, Brittany and I will see you soon, #watch what happens live. Which was interesting. Interesting. But I'm also interested, like, to see what comes of that. Like, yeah, I know that Andy has been bringing like fired housewives and people like that, like, on to Watch What Happens Live, and even at like to BravoCon and stuff like that. Like, he's been giving fired housewives and fired Bravo celebrities more of a platform. But these two, it's interesting because I feel like they've been like so thirsty for so long, because Jax and Brittany have been pitching pilots left and right for the past like 5 years.
One for HGTV. No, their houses were always so tacky. Why would I ever? It's like a media test too. Andy's doing that just so they can see, like, oh, let's see what the numbers are to maybe get them back. Like, they had Lisa Vanderpump on Watch What Happens Live, I think yesterday, and it was like really big numbers. He's gonna see like what the people do with Jax and Brittany.
Yeah, and then she badmouthed Kristen, and then Kristen like posted like a snarky little post, but she's always gonna hate Kristen, and I think that the guess. I understand why Lisa doesn't have respect for Kristen. Kristen was probably the worst employee she's ever had.
When she told the manager Diana to suck a dick, that was so funny. She's at work.
That is fucking crazy.
Not concerned. That is a dick. What? To your boss?
That is fucking crazy. Like, I like, beyond reality television, I understand it's a show, but like that is a real place of business. And like a nice restaurant. Like a nice restaurant, an expensive restaurant where like expensive high rollers go to like spend money. You can't do that. Like, that's and somebody who wants to work in the industry.
Right. And then the next day, I want my job back. I'm sorry. No, he told me to suck a dick.
Bonkers.
Love Kristen. So stupid.
Bonkers. So I understand why Vanderpump hates Dodie. Like, I don't really get why Dodie thinks that why Vanderpump should think different. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you fucking mean? She's crazy. Okay, so Lala has been vocal as always.
Yes.
Always vocal. I bought one of her Send It to Daryl sweatshirts. I thought that was really funny. As soon as she posted the link, I was like, those are cute. Yeah, I thought that was really funny. So yes, if y'all didn't see, basically Rachel / Raquel sent like cease and desist, it seems, to each of the cast members' like personal email addresses, and Lala posted on her stories this video being like, send it to my lawyer, you idiot, what are you doing? And at the end she ends it with going, send it to Daryl. And then she made merch because everybody thought it was funny, and I paid $67 for a sweatshirt that says send it to Daryl on it. So
that was funny though. She was like, I don't want to see that first thing in the morning. Send it to Daryl. I have a baby.
Honest, yeah, fair, to be honest. Okay, but also she shared that they are not like re-editing the season to like show these Easter eggs. They're not like scrambling to like change anything to give viewers any kind of like different perceptions or perspective. So that's an interesting little tidbit. So I am like curious to see how the Schwartz storyline plays out. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I'm very interested to see as well, because they're already trying to do the whole Raquel and Schwartz, and she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But then I want to see what they're going to do, because they're going to be showing them filming, and she's already like, Sandoval's my best friend. So are they just going to, Raquel said, not Raquel, Lala said that they're not going to edit it out. So are they going to just kind of just show her like break up with Schwartz, or like, I don't know what they're going to do, because they're still filming, because James was in the little chair.
Right.
And the reunion. I feel like that.
So I guess
and not go to the reunion. Raquel, she's like,
well, if she doesn't go to the reunion, they'll fire her.
Good.
I bet she goes to the reunion, because I think she is the most desperate for her spot on the cast.
She will go to Slaughter.
/ her paycheck.
She will go.
Yeah, I think she will. That's my bold prediction. I think she goes to the reunion. I think she walks in holding hands with Tom.
Oh, if she goes to the reunion, I may have a little bit more respect for her, because that is my big no, is you go to the reunion. You show up to fucking work. If you don't go to the reunion, you're done. I hate when you don't show the reunion.
Yes. Okay. Which I want to talk about that later when we get into our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills discussion with Diana.
Fuck her. But yes, I think
because I can't believe that she didn't show up. I can't believe that bitch didn't show up after all the heat she brought all season. You want a villain? Here I am. And then doesn't show up to the reunion.
Run away.
Girl.
I can't.
Girl.
You show up.
Please. Yeah. Ugh. Okay, so I guess that's kind of it on Scandival tomfoolery right now. We're kind of just like on pins and needles waiting to see how this pans out. I will say that like the girls have been like rallying around Ariana. They seem to be like with her all the time. Like especially Katie and Ariana and Sheena. They've all posted a lot hanging out with her. And it also seems like she's in like relatively good spirits. She looks a lot better than I would if this was me.
I know. And it's crazy because Kristen, the only reason I love Kristen, but I feel like the only reason why that she's even doing this because she like hates Tom. So she's like, ooh, let's compare notes. So that's the only reason why she's like very much into it, because she will Tom is her ex-boyfriend that she will shit talk on forever. We all have one.
Yeah.
That's just fun to do. But being a good friend.
Yes. Yeah, I loved that on her podcast though. She said there were people who saw this as like Ariana's karma for like losing him how she got him, which I don't see it that way, because Ariana and Tom were like kind of forced together. If you watched the show,
they were together all the time.
They were like genuinely friends. With chemistry. They were like coworkers who were like forced together and like had this chemistry, and like Kristen was just like about it, and it's like it just like was naturally developing, and there was just nothing she could do to stop it. But I wouldn't say that Ariana had this like active role in like trying to steal Kristen's man.
And Tom was fucking everything.
It wasn't like Lala and Randall.
No.
Tom
It's not the same thing. Like, it was still grimy, yes, but apparently Kristen and Tom would break up like every 2 weeks, and he was just banging everything around. So it's not, and they spent like 10 years together. It's not like they broke up like 6 months later.
And Kristen fucked Jax.
Yes. While they were watching Drive by Ryan Gosling on the couch, and Tom was in the room. That's even worse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, so that whole thing is just like a wash, but people were saying that, and Kristen was like, I just want to say like that the only people who like the karma is not a part of this, and the only people that are going to get their karma in this are like Tom and Raquel at the end.
Yes.
Like, this is not a thing on Ariana's part. Like, she didn't do anything. And I thought it was nice of her to say that. And she actually made it less about her than Stassi did on her podcast, which I think says a lot.
Yeah. because they
I think says a lot,
Says a
considering
lot.
it's actually Kristen's ex-boyfriend.
and Stassi has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and Stassi's just like, the same thing happened to me 12 years ago.
Exactly, when I was housing this homeless 40-year-old man at 23.
Yeah. who I broke up with myself and like didn't mourn for a second.
Yo,
like, what
I
are you
had a
talking
new
about?
boyfriend the next day. Like it doesn't make any sense.
The next day. Just insane. Just absolutely insane. Okay. All right. It's Real Housewives of Potomac time. I just finished the 3-part reunion yesterday, and it turned my pussy out.
So good.
I was screaming at the television. I loved the husband segment. I loved /hated the part with Chris and Giselle. So I want to kick off with just talking about that storyline through the whole season. And as two married women, two black women married to white men. Wanted to get your opinion on this whole Chris Bassett is a creep storyline that was kind of brought out to us by Giselle and Ashley, and like how Candace and Chris handled it in general. Just a small thing. I, number one, didn't understand why Giselle was uncomfortable in the first place.
Yeah.
I understood Ashley's perspective way more than Giselle's.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't understand why Giselle's storyline took up the entire season and Ashley's was a blip.
Like,
what do you think?
Giselle, I think Chris did nothing wrong. I don't think so. I think that Giselle had really nothing else to really talk about. And so she was like, okay, let me do this on camera like 7 months later. The one thing about Chris, though, is that he's doing all this like cornball shit on Twitter and going on all these podcasts talking about it and being like yelling and screaming. Like, I understand how he's upset, but you are the victim in this situation. And it was handled. The producers had your back, even when Ashley brought in her stupid ass friends. They had your back. You were vindicated.
I don't think he thought the producers were gonna have his back.
That's true.
I don't think he expected that.
But when they were showing, like, Deborah not looking at Chris, that was... If I was Deborah, I would have fist fought Ashley. You're not going to bring me on this show to, like, stir up some drama that didn't even happen and have the internet dragging me, calling me Sesame Street and a Muppet.
And embarrass the fuck out of me.
Embarrass me. Ashley had a bad season.
Oof.
Ashley did not have a good season. Because even her thing with the Chris and the Instagram, too. That was... I don't think Chris wants any of that. I don't know what they're doing.
Here's what I'll say. I don't think that he does either, but I will say that, like, it was... I don't know... Okay, here's the thing. Before I saw the little scene of Ashley going over to Candace's house and that where they were like kikiing about the hockey player, I didn't know that Candace and Ashley were really cool like that. So once I saw that, it really put it into perspective for me, and I was like, well, exactly. But if they hang out like that and Chris sees them like that, then I was like, I understand now why he messaged her like that.
Yeah, and if
we've just never seen that on camera in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
and he was like,
hey,
should have come out. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, come to the
come to the bar. Ashley was being
my light.
Ashley was grabbing straws, and I could not handle her. I could not handle Ashley this season. It was just like, girl, what are you doing? I go, you literally going through a divorce, and your storyline sucks, and you only got 30 seconds.
Well, the thing about Ashley, for me, okay, she kind of fits into that category I was talking about earlier, like with Sheena and Lisa Barlow and those people, where it's like, I like her, but I never like really agree with her. But I'll take her a step down from those people and put her more in like a Lala Kent bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm like, she's like unhinged and disrespectful and needs to go to therapy. And like, I actually like sometimes get really angry with her, but I like still kind of like her. But sometimes she has a whole season where I'm just like, fuck off. And this was one of them.
Yes.
So
Everybody was really
it's
on
like
her
she's
side.
like a step down from all those other problematic faves.
Like, everybody was on her side when she got divorced.
But she's really good at manipulating people.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know how to, like, close it. Like, the whole thing with the divorce. I was like, oh, yes, Ashley, girl, get your coin. You have those 2 kids. You have the prenup, whatever. Come to find out,
I knew she wasn't going to.
Shit. She's not getting anything.
No, because she got married to that man when she was like 23. Of course she signed a prenup. She's so stupid.
He is gross.
She's just a little pageant girl.
And then why
so
did
gross.
she break up with Luke?
I just don't know. Like, okay. Well, they talked about that at the reunion, but it was really quick.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Sounds like Luke broke up with her because Michael. Sounds like Michael was kind of like showing up because he has a key to her house.
Which is insane.
Yeah. Sounds like Michael was, just trampsing all over the place. I don't get it. But Ashley, I just like, I want to like her so bad, partially because she looks like me. So I'm like, hey girl.
Like,
I want to like her so bad. I'm like, she looks like me, except for her forehead's bigger, and so are her ears and her hair. I'm jealous of her hair. She has a lot more of it than I do.
When she does her hair well, it's stunning.
But she wears these fucking wigs. The fucking wigs, they're so bad. She'll pay $13,000 on a mortgage, but she won't spend more than $45 on a shake and go wig.
And then she said it was her mom's wig. So
I'm like,
that's my mom's wig.
That I have to tell you something. That little granny wig was better than the wig that she wore on the reunion. I hated this wig so bad with the deep part.
Yeah, it was like
this deep part.
Like that's right there. I did not.
Not with that forehead, girl. Not with that forehead, girl.
A mess. Wendy and Candace ate them up.
No. Why? Okay. Yeah. Oh, I love Candace.
Me too.
Candace and Karen are my favorites.
I love Candace.
Yeah, I really love them. I love Karen.
The thing with Candace is that she literally cannot stop.
I adore her. I feel really bad for her.
Candace or Karen?
I relate to that though.
Like
Candace, yeah.
Candace.
But she'll okay, she did this at the reunion. I actually wanted to bring this up. You're right. So she at the reunion, so they had their colorism conversation. And then they talked later. Let's just talk about that actually. And then I'll get to what I was going to say. Let's just talk about the colorism conversation, cuz I was really mad after and I mean, here. I'm real light. but you know what? I can definitely have a better conversation about that than those bitches. That was crazy.
Like,
that was fucking crazy.
I was like,
I will say that I loved that. Oh my God. I mean, I think that my white mom could have done a better job than some of those bitches. I will say I love that Andy Cohen was like, I'm just gonna like give y'all the floor. I love that the producers called them and were like, how do y'all want to do this? Do you want to have a moderator? That was really cool. So shout out to Bravo for that. Bravo did a good job, but the Real Housewives of Potomac, I'm disappointed. Frankly, I guess I'm disappointed in like the state of Maryland.
Giselle was being dense on purpose, and it was pissing me off. She was being like obtuse on purpose. You knew exactly what the fuck Candace was talking about, but you were just like being dense on purpose. The Green-Eyed Bandits, they know exactly.
I would venture to say, oh yeah, I would venture to say Robin and Ashley too. The only light-skinned woman up there who, well, even Mia and Karen, you know, were with it. But yeah, the Blue-Eyed Bandits and Ashley, and as the person who looks like Ashley, I was really frustrated by that. But basically, they start out by Candace like reading the definition of colorism. And by the way, I didn't specify this. We didn't specify this. We're talking as if the listeners know. At the reunion, the Real Housewives of Potomac had a discussion on colorism because it came up a lot during the season. So that is what we are discussing at this point in time. But yeah, so they start out by reading the Merriam-Webster definition of colorism and agree upon it. And Candace starts by kind of like spilling her guts. And she's like, I feel like I am labeled as the emotional and aggressive and over the top and like, you know, mouthy one when, you know, my counterparts like Robin,
when she got Robin,
like exhibit all the same behaviors but are not. Yeah, well, she says she's like she exhibits all the same behaviors but her feet's not held to the fire in the same way that mine are. And then yeah, they roll the B-roll, but then they're like, well, I do, though. Y'all do say those things about me. But then Candace is like, yeah, but you're not, like, held accountable in the same way I am. And they just are, like, refusing to hear her.
Yes. And Andy's done that to Candace multiple times before. Like, when it comes to color, Andy's been like
they're kind of, like, refusing to listen. Yeah. It's like, and then Giselle is like, but what does that have to do with your skin color? And Candace is like, the way that I'm treated, it has to do with my skin color. Because I don't feel like people call out Robin for being aggressive. No. And to me, she is by far the most aggressive and, dare I say, ghetto on the cast. She is by far like the one that is most down to fight. She is the one that has the most conflict. She is the one that I think is the most unlikable because she is always in a conflict. And she's just like rough. Like,
yes, like when
always
she stood
like
up towards Wendy.
In people's faces, neck movement. Yeah. Stood up towards Wendy, had to be held back. And then she and Charisse both lied and said that she didn't have to be held back. And again, I think all of that goes back to colorism.
Yes.
Yeah. And then nobody sticks up for them. And I do think that not only, and here's what they didn't even touch on that I think is really important to touch on, is that they don't even talk about the fact that I think they think that the light-skinned women need defending, and they think the dark-skinned women can handle their own.
Yes.
The dark-skinned women, it's like they've got it.
They're strong.
They can hold it. They can hold their own. They've got it. But the light-skinned women, oh, poor them. They need defending, because what happened when Wendy and Mia got into it? Robin was like, Wendy, you need to calm down.
You're antagonizing.
After Mia threw a drink.
You're antagonizing.
Like, just fucking insane that Robin had her flash on filming, and then after Mia throws a drink, two light-skinned women making overt aggressive gestures, and all Wendy is doing is verbally defending herself, and they're like, you're antagonizing.
Yeah, you started it. You're antagonizing. I go, you're not saying anything to her. And then even though I don't like Giselle, I do kind of appreciate that she was like, I don't like her. I don't like Whitney. That's why I didn't care, which is disgusting, but honest.
Yes, but I think the other girls didn't expect her to be like that, and they were like really like disappointed in that. They were like, when she said that, they were like, oh, gross. Like, they didn't think that she was gonna be that honest. I, as a viewer, recognize that in her because I don't have a relationship with Giselle.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
can
viewer,
totally
you know?
In the way that...
Yeah. Yeah.
And who said it? One of them said something. I think one of the Green-Eyed Bandits said something about how can I be colorist if I'm black as well? When literally that is the whole point of the fucking conversation.
The definition.
That's literally the point of the conversation.
I think it was Mia saying because she has a dark-skinned little girl.
Yeah.
I think. And then Giselle was like, I'm raising a dark-skinned little girl too. Or dark-skinned little girls too. And it's like, yeah, and then it's like, yeah, Giselle, but like you do exploit your proximity to whiteness in every way. Look at your fucking hair. Like, that's the thing for me about Robin and Giselle is like, your hair is always blonde and straight. I peep it, okay? I peep that your hair is not only, you can't do anything about your eyes, you know? Yeah. I don't expect you to wear like brown color contacts, but like the fact that your hair is always processed and straight shows me everything I need to know when you're that grown. And your daughters see it too. Yes. I've never seen your daughters with their natural hair either.
When Katie called them out like the first season about like being like biracial, and they got so pissed off.
Girl,
it's like, it's true. You guys are like light-skinned woman. Robin is a white woman.
Let me tell you something. I almost quit this show during the first season during that whole argument because like this whole argument obviously is very like inflammatory to me because I hate when like my blackness gets challenged because I'm like, you don't know what my life's been like, and you don't know what they're being mixed is a different challenge than being black, but it's a challenge nonetheless, you know. And like, and me being mixed like doesn't make me not black, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It makes me less black like percentage wise, but not culturally.
Yeah.
You know?
Tell us about being a mixed child in Texas. Tell the people. Educate the people about
like, exactly. Like, do you know, and whenever people are like, well, you were like raised in a white family, I'm like, yeah, do you know what it's like to be a different color than the rest of your family? No. Then don't fucking talk to me. Like, I don't want to fucking hear it, then. Like, you don't know. But anyway, so that the whole like thing with Katie pissed me off because I feel like they exploited Katie's like quirkiness and weirdness and like drew a parallel with it to whiteness to like turn the black audience against her, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because like she's weird. And they were like, look how like weird and nerdy she is. She hates herself. And it's like, she's just weird. Let her be weird. It has nothing to do with white or black.
She's just odd.
Yeah.
An odd individual.
She's just a weird girl. And so I hated that from the beginning. And the fact, and I never got the vibe that Katie was like a coon.
I never got
like Katie.
I never got that from Katie.
Katie's
either.
not like, Katie's just like, I'm biracial and so are y'all. And they're like, no, I'm not. And they're all like mad. And it's like, y'all are blonde haired, blue eyed.
Exactly. Show us your parents quickly. Let me see a photo.
And yes. And thank you for bringing that to, because at Robin's wedding, let me tell you the screen that I scrumped when I saw Robin's parents on screen. Both of her parents are whiter than mine. Both of her parents are whiter than both of mine. I don't know which parent of hers is supposed to be black, but they are both whiter than both of mine. She looks like my mom. I took a picture of her on screen in that wig. Doesn't she kind of look like my mom?
She does.
In her within her hair, when she has that wig that's like black or it's like auburn with the like white or the blonde highlights. She literally looks like my mom. I took a picture and sent it to her, and she was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Yeah, this bitch claims she's fully black and bullied the biracial girl."
And Jenna is a bad bitch to be caught dead in that wig.
No. She FaceTimed me the other day. She was because she had just gotten her hair done. She was like, she finally cut it the length that I wanted. She's so funny. But yeah, that shit was crazy. And yeah, when they showed her parents this season, I was like, bitch, I knew it. I was like, where? Black where? Why did this bitch think she was fully black?
Because they never really showed like a little bit of like a sepia filter on her parents. We all know. Yeah. We all see. We clocked that.
Yeah, I was like, now which parent is supposed to be black or both? Really? That's insane. Insane. Okay. So but the colorism conversation, it just, to me, it didn't, and they cut it off so soon. I think it was like
6 minutes at tops.
And Candace, she like got it off her chest, but it seemed like nobody even really fully heard her. It felt like she was mostly argued with, and it felt edited. Mm-hmm. So it was like, and really it concluded with Ashley basically just saying, that she acknowledges her privilege, and then Candace like starts crying and is like, it just makes me, you have no idea how much it means just for you to even acknowledge your privilege. And I'm like, that's it? That's all it takes?
That's it? Because the bitch next to you is not saying shit, Giselle. She's not saying anything.
I'm like, that's all it fucking takes is for her to just be like, I know that it's a little bit easier for me to be lighter than you, but...
Anyways, moving on. Like, it was a good start for a conversation, but I feel like they needed maybe a moderator. Like, come on, get the black PA
Atlanta girls
and just like sit there, or get the Atlanta
flying somebody from Atlanta. Kenya, bring Kenya in.
Kenya just cuss out Giselle and move on. Keep it pushing. She'd be like, look.
Yeah. Oh my God, please put Kenya up against Giselle. That's what I need. But yeah, I was just disappointed in that conversation, especially because Giselle has darker skinned children, and like I felt like Mia was more open than Giselle was. Karen got it. Karen was trying to, and I was like loving what she was saying. She, I think, like has a very similar view to me, and like as a lighter skinned person is just kind of like, listen, like it's all about it. She said exactly my philosophy, which is it's all about listening to the people who like hold
are affected
that like, yes. So listen to Candace is basically what she was saying. And that's like my perspective. It's like, I don't get to decide what's real and what's not. I listen and act accordingly. So period.
And it's great that Candace,
and so I loved that Karen said that.
Yeah, I always love that Candace has Karen in her corner, because Candace makes the point, and then she goes left with like, you and your dwindling uterus. She goes left. Karen was there to kind of like help and like be like, so what she's trying to say is, this is it.
Yes.
Like she was like an interpreter, if you will, for Candace.
Yes. Okay. So that brings me to what I was going to say, which is that like what she said that like kind of veered off, that was later. It was during the Chris conversation when they brought the husbands out, and Chris was out there, and Candace is like, she kind of like brings it around to the like sexual assault or sexual misconduct thing, which I agreed with. Yeah. When she says like, you're the reason that women don't like to come forward because like you know, whatever. I did like kind of agree with her point there, whatever. But then she's like, well, your proximity to whiteness, like people are going to believe you because, you know, whatever. But then that to me was such a left turn because I'm like, your husband's white. Your husband's a white man, and that way trumps.
Like, literally, like,
Giselle, like you can't do that.
Like, you got it. Just like rein it back in. And it's like, I love Candace so much because she is like a thesaurus. She's like, your gutter snipe bitch ass. And then I'm just like reel it back, you got her.
Yeah.
And the dwindling years, I was like, no, Candace, you almost got it. You were so close. Even Andy was like behind the cards, like, oh no.
Well, at that point, she doesn't have a uterus.
Yeah.
Like at the time that they're shooting the reunion, she has had a hysterectomy.
And
she
they
has
just did the segment when she said it.
Womb.
So you just said that after she was crying about her hysterectomy. Now you're like, with your busted ass uterus, bitch. I'm just like, oh God.
Which honestly, that's another thing I actually like wrote in my notes that I was like, I don't understand these bitches' attachment to their wombs, to their uteruses. Like, because Mia, which I want to talk about Mia's illness journey.
Oh, okay.
Which, and everything else. And more, I want to talk about Mia in general in a second. But Mia said during her thing, she would, because they had found like lumps and stuff and fibroids on, because I have uterine fibroids like Giselle, so that's gonna be me later on in life. So
let's go, girl.
But yeah, but yeah. So when she was talking about that, I sympathized and whatever, but she was like, I don't want them to like take my lady parts because, you know, I just don't want them to take them. And I'm like, why? You're done having kids.
You're done.
Why do you fucking care? You know, and also like you could have a flatter stomach if you didn't have your uterus.
Like, you're done having kids. I mean, I don't even have any kids yet, but you know, if push comes to shove, you can scrape me out like a jack-o'-lantern. I don't care. You can get rid of all of it. Like, I honestly, fine.
every month when my period comes, as somebody who doesn't want kids, and my period started today, TMI, but whatever. Every month when my period comes, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. Like, I want them to take it all out, but a doctor won't even. I'm in Texas.
Yeah, nope.
You think I can just walk in somewhere, even with these fibroids in my uterus? You think I can walk in somewhere and be like, yes, I couldn't even get my husband to sign off on it. They'd be like, nope, we still want you to, you know, pump something out, some babies out. Yeah. God. But my friend Renee is going to do it for me one day. She's an OBGYN.
Oh, yeah,
she's in residency.
She's going to do mine too. She's going to.
Yeah. But anyway, all their attachments to their lady parts are so weird. I didn't really understand it, but you know, whatever. Okay, so I want to talk about Mia and I want to talk about Ashley's divorce. There's a lot of like illnesses on this show and like health issues and whatever. And in general, I've noticed that these ladies copy each other a lot. There's always themes on this show.
All the time.
And this year it was illnesses. We had kidney stones, we had hysterectomies, and we had Mia's mystery illness.
You're sick, I'm sick too.
Mia's, yeah. Which I believe Mia's mystery illness halfway. I believe half of it.
Like, it was just the different, that's the thing. Maybe because I'm just a little bit of a skeptic, not because of the whole Brooks cancer situation. I'm just like,
yeah,
we need Megan King Edmonds on Potomac to see if Mia really has it, because she was like, well, they had it, then they didn't, and they didn't anymore. It just kept being so mixed around, so I didn't even really know what the fuck she was even talking about, because it was just a different story.
Yes, here's what I deduced, because I have fibroids, so. And she never makes sense when she talks, but I don't think it's always because she's lying. I think it's because she's stupid. I think sometimes she doesn't always retain the information that she's given, so that she only is able to like spout off certain talking points that don't always connect.
Like,
because
talking about the board. of her.
Yes, which I am going to get to in a minute. I really think I know what's going on. So hold on that in just a second. But on the health thing, to me, it sounds like she has some like mysterious lumps, because I have those in my breasts and in my uterus, and I have to get them like monitored. I don't have the like other like sickness and like rash stuff that is so like concerning, to where I'm like, oh my God, do I have cancer? Instead, they're like, I got a biopsy, and like I get my stuff and I get my stuff checked, and they're like, you're good, and I'm like, okay, and so to me, I'm like, they probably did the same thing with her, but then she's also having these like other problems, and she's like attributing them
all together
to this stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. Because it sounds like she had like the rash, and then like they thought that she might have had that other thing that had to do with her like the breast implant illness that they were talking about at the reunion. Like that sounds plausible to me. So I'm like, it sounds like she just isn't like,
she doesn't have all of her thoughts
there enough to really.
So it didn't make any sense what she was like saying 3 different
Yeah,
things
I just think she like can't relay it.
Like
I don't think she's lying. I think she just can't relay it correctly, and she's getting information that she just like can't like retain and like regurgitate in the right way. So I don't think she's intentionally lying about her illness. I do think she's exaggerating it for the camera and for attention.
Yeah,
I do think that. And I don't think she ever was actually scared she had cancer.
No, it's kind of like when Kim Zolciak had cancer, and then they said they were going to test for it, but then she ended up not having it. But she told everybody she had cancer. And everyone's like, wait, what? And she goes, but I actually didn't. I go, you waited 6 months to tell us you didn't have it after they told you like within 3 days. That's literally what happened.
I think it's exactly that. That's my guess. Now, about the board thing, the business thing, I'm getting vibes. I think Giselle is onto something when she was like, it sounds like there's some embezzlement. I don't know about if it's embezzlement or actually I think it's money laundering.
She has the gall to talk about money laundering. Giselle Bryant with that fake ass restaurant Pastor Holy Whore bought for those girls for their like 15th birthday. That's like 6 hours away.
Yeah, I know.
I would not say money laundering, Miss Beth. I would kind of get
well that's why she said embezzlement. It's different. Embezzlement and money laundering are different. She accused her of embezzlement. She didn't say money laundering because she's laundering money.
Because she's laundering money. She's
well,
like,
I think,
I know, girl. That's not what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoop. Yeah, no, I think they're all laundering money. But I think that through the joint and okay, so here's why I think she couldn't explain the like members and management and CEO thing. I think that she's CEO of a couple of the joints, but she's not CEO of the Joint Chiropractic.
Yeah.
But I think she's probably like general manager of a couple of them, or maybe even like a region, even like a maybe like Southeastern region CEO, something like that. I'm sure. I worked for a restaurant group for a time, and they had something like 5 CEOs because you were like CEO of different concepts or different regions or whatever. So
exactly, that's probably
like she might not be lying about that either. She might just be confused because she's dumb.
Wendy
but then
and Candace's
also,
face, they're just like, "What do you say?" Candace laughing on the side of the couch, and Wendy just like.
But that I was kind of annoyed though, because I was like, they're intentionally misunderstanding her, because I kind of understand what she's trying to say, but I also understand what she's trying to cover up, because when she said we had this heavy hitter partner in Virginia, and then his brothers took us off the like management, and then they're like, well, then what do you mean they just like, you can't just take somebody off management? Yes, you can. On an LLC. Yeah, if you have an LLC, and it's like, and you have like 4 members, which is what she it sounded like there were 4 owners on the LLC and then 4 board members.
Yeah.
And like a total of 8 people like running this thing is what she was trying to say. But she's again dumb and can't say that.
Poor thing was trying her hardest.
And they're all just laughing at her. And they're all like, "You're an idiot," but
I would be so angry.
I know. I hate Nia. I think she's crazy. I think she's a liar. But during this segment, I actually felt bad for her because I was like, I actually think that there's some truth to what she's saying. And I think that she's not talking out of her ass. I think she's just a dumb girl. And these girls like have no empathy for her dumbness.
Like she's trying
and
her
that's
best
to me not fair.
Like it's not fair. Like
that to me is not fair. Yeah, because it's like it. But what it sounds like is that they got some partner involved that was maybe investing some money. That was maybe
they took it out.
Dirty money. Yeah, I think they maybe like took some dirty money that they were gonna like launder through the joint, and then they were taken off to avoid getting in.
Yeah, because everything's
trouble.
gone. Like they don't have anything.
Like and why else would you do that to your brother?
Yeah, something
when it's like when it's a family business. Also, I'm watching Ozark right now.
Ooh.
So that might be why I think this.
Ouch.
But I really think that that's why. And they even said on the show, they were like, that's very Housewives. You know, like people
crimes,
do that all the time.
If you are committing a crime, don't go on the show because they always find out.
But it's always the dumb people who do.
Jen.
And like, I just, did you see her journal?
Did she like, how is she journaling from prison, smuggling in phones? I was like, what? She's gonna be on prison time?
I don't know. Oh my God. And it's all just like, she's acting like she's the only person like going through this. It's like, there's like everybody there feels the same way.
That's why there's prisons. There's multiple people in there who did the same thing.
She's in a white collar prison. It's not that bad.
I think
it's not that bad.
I wonder if she's in the same one as Julie Christie, because she's in one in Lexington. The same one as the
she's
guy
here.
From Cheer. Oh, okay.
She's here. She's in Bryan, Texas, near Texas A&M.
Oh God, that's poor thing.
Bleak.
Poor thing. Ew.
It's bleak down there. I know.
God,
it's bad. Okay, so now I want to talk about Ashley's divorce and Robin's marriage.
God, I was so happy that they brought up the Juan Dixon thing with the player and like the catfishing thing, because I thought that they were gonna take it out, but Andy's pissed at her, and so are the producers. They were giving Robin her lashings. They were letting her have it the entire reunion.
Well, they're really mad about the Patreon thing. They're really mad that she like held out on them for the job they're paying her for, and then like put tea behind a paywall.
They're all going to
not
start
happy
doing
about
that.
that.
They have to. And Juan clearly hates her.
They're
Juan
not going to
does
start
love
doing.
her.
They're making example out of her. They are not going to start doing that.
They're like, oh, she's done.
Juan hates her.
The one thing Juan will always
some
do is
people
walk
were
away from
saying.
He's like,
and
I'm
yell
done,
at her
Rob.
on the phone.
I'm done, Rob. I'm done. I'm out of here. Then leave.
I keep seeing people on the internet be like, I think that the Dixons have like an arrangement, but I do not think that. I think that Robin is dumb.
And then the Watch What Happens Live, there was nothing physical. And Andy's like, and you believe that? She's like, yeah.
Girl.
And Ebony's face is like, I don't like Ebony at all, but she was just like, girl, you know he's cheating. And Karen said, the woman who looks like me, she's so stupid.
Yeah.
Karen is so dumb. I love her.
She's like, she has blonde hair. She looks like me.
And Ashley was like, Ashley busted out.
I love Karen though. She's so shady. She's shady without being like cunty.
Yeah.
Which is what I love about her. I respect that.
We are going to get to, because I am so annoyed with them bringing in Charisse, but we'll finish up Juan and Robin.
Yeah, well, we will get to that.
God,
yeah.
it pissed me
Okay,
off so much.
so I guess I don't understand like how Robin like convinced Juan to want to get back together. Do you think he like wants her money?
Because they were always still living together, even when they were divorced, because they had no money. But then he got that job coaching and everything, so they can easily go their separate ways. But are they going to be those couples that like get divorced once the kids grow up, which somehow people think is better to stay in a terrible marriage?
It's not.
And wait till their kids to grow up so they can see their dad cheat on their mom every 2 days. And
Crazy.
like this fake ass wedding.
Ugh.
But they've been together since they were like, what, 17? So I feel
Right,
like
that's why I'm like, is it?
codependent.
I was gonna say, is it codependency, or is it like comfort, or both? I don't know.
I guess, because there was like, I think it was 2 seasons ago, he hated her so much. He could not even look at her. He was like, get out of bed,
I
Robin.
still like I don't see any affection between the two of them. Like and then he doesn't show up to the reunion, and he's like, she's like, he's working. It's like, Coach Shaw has never missed a reunion.
No. And he's Pac-12, sir.
Yeah. Yes, girl.
It's like, he could show up to work.
Pac-12. Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
don't
and
understand
he
it.
shows up for his criminal wife.
And will stand by her.
Mhm. Yeah, Harry Hamlin shows up, girl.
And Harry
Who do
Hamlin
you think you
is
are?
the busiest man in Hollywood because of his wife and her hoarding problem. And that's why. Their
I'm
house
dead.
has rats. He has to work.
He's gonna work till he's 82.
I just don't understand
Okay.
at all.
I don't either. Okay, but Ashley's divorce. So the prenup. I'm not surprised about the prenup, honestly. I guess I didn't like the conversation at the reunion. So like when Andy was like grilling her about the prenup, I felt like I guess because she still seems so like brainwashed.
Yeah.
And it felt really uncomfortable to like watch her still defend him.
I know. And I got sick to my stomach when she was talking about, I had a coochie craving for Michael and like her selling those fans.
Yeah.
After this man literally fucked you over and had you signing all of this shit, which if you watched Housewives, you know you don't just sign things, Teresa. That like they got an
Yeah.
LLC with the house and they
To
bought
buy
the
her
house together.
house.
So technically it is his
Mhm.
house. And I did love Candace's little like read back to
I loved that.
she was like, Ashley was like, well, when my kids are 30, they're gonna have a house in her name. And Candace like, you don't. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't,
Yeah.
bitch.
Well, she got such shit for her mom helping her. And I think that the reason that it hurt Candace so much is because it really was more shaming Chris than it was shaming Candace.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It was like emasculating Chris and like shaming him more than it was really like shade to Candace. And ultimately that's what it's always been. That it's always been Ashley trying to be like, my husband's better than yours, when really her husband is a piece of shit. So here's my next question to you. Do you feel like Michael Jarby is gay?
Yes. But I also think he's just for the people. Just
Okay.
for this, like, when the fact that he was still even on the show after it was on camera, him grabbing a producer, like, that should be grounds for a dismissal, but they just kind of exploited that. I mean, I don't think that I think he did not want a baby at all, because he has like 18 kids already.
I didn't know he had other kids.
He has a lot. Like, I think some kids may be older than Ashley. I don't know if that's true. I probably just made it up. But I feel like I know he has other kids.
Oh my god. How many times has he been married? We're gonna find out.
Let me see.
He had 2 children before, it seems. Inside Michael Darby's first marriage.
No, thank you. I think he's just such an odd duck. I just don't understand it. And like, I want to look at how much money he has. Like that dumbass Australian restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, they're like unknown. They don't have names.
I mean, I wouldn't want to. My dad's out here being a fucking diddler. I'm not. You're not gonna put my name on there.
And the ex's name isn't known or anything. There's like nothing known about his wife or like his life in general before. That's so weird.
That's good. The fact that idiot's trying to sue Candace too. It's on camera. You can. She didn't.
Girl.
Lie.
Yeah. Bananas. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So tell me your thoughts about Charisse being brought back.
I don't fucking understand it. And I know it's a show. I know that's their job. It's a show. But if someone doesn't like you, why are you going to constantly just like stalk them around? And when they're like, I don't fuck with you. I don't want to be friends with you. And she's like, why? I didn't just expose that you went to rehab and that you're sucking dick for chicken tenders and that you're cheating on your husband after I don't want to be friends with you. Like, I don't understand her point, but I feel like the reason why they're bringing her in is because Giselle and Robin don't like Karen. So they're like, we're going to bring back the real grande dame of Potomac. Charisse? No. The only reason why that she even left the show is because she was getting a divorce and didn't want all that shit being said. Like, I don't understand her purpose, and it was just useless. I mean, it was a good fight. The fight in Mexico was really good, but I just don't get why she's there. And I understand Karen's frustration because I would be like, I don't fuck with you, and I don't have to like you. I'm like 60 years old. Why are you like constantly trying to be my friend? I don't fucking like you. Go away.
Yeah, I think it's weird as well. I think that I understand that at the reunion they made it very clear that Charisse is friends with like literally everyone else but Karen,
which is fine.
Which is also interesting, and I don't really understand how that happened because it seems like, hasn't Charisse fought with everyone though?
Yes. But they said that how Charisse was like the reason how that group got together.
That's what I thought.
She's the reason why they're all together now.
Okay.
Which is fine. But I don't see why. Well, I do see why, because they tag teamed each other with Giselle and Robin. They're like, oh, we got to get this in to get at Karen. And like, oh, we're always close. We're always really good friends. Blah, 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 blah. That's not true.
It's such a lie. Yeah. I think that Charisse bothers me because in the same way that Robin bothers me, really. I feel like Robin and Giselle. I feel like I get a twinkle in her eye when she hurts somebody or when she like provokes somebody. Yeah. She gets like a real like zest.
Like, I got you.
Yeah, and that's something that I like dislike in a Housewives character. I prefer a Housewives cast member to get provoked as opposed to a provoker.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I completely, especially when it comes to Charisse, it just didn't, it was pointless. Like the entire thing, and and Karen shut that down. She was like, no, we're not gonna discuss this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then Giselle was like, no, we are. And Karen was like, I'm not. You can, she goes, next question, Andy. I'm not going to talk. And then she's like, you don't even acknowledge her. With Robin, I love how Robin and Giselle are dumbfounded at the social media backlash they have been getting. They did not expect that. They did not expect to get
because they are like old school OG popular girls that have just never like had their feet held to the fire in like any capacity, and like, welcome to the 21st century, ladies. Like, and I think Giselle has really only just like been made fun of for her fashion. And this is the first time that she's getting any like real backlash. And like Robin's been called like boring and stuff, you know. It's like, oh, she's just like Giselle's sidekick. But they've never, yeah, I know. But they've never really gotten like, you know,
and like they've
dragged.
Never gotten, like,
so I think they just like, yeah, they don't know what to do with it.
She's like, the fans don't see
they don't know how to handle it.
What do we see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to me, like, they're very calculating, and also they're really the only ones that can take no accountability.
It's so frustrating.
I feel like all the others are able to kind of like hear feedback. Yeah.
Like they just don't know what to do.
They're really like not fun.
It was hard to watch.
They get like they've gotten to the point where they're not fun to watch. Mm-hmm.
Especially Giselle. I am sick of Giselle.
It's frustrating.
I am sick of her, and I used to kind of
me too,
because I do love Giselle.
She's
and Karen,
funny,
but not. I was sick of her this season, especially the whole Wendy thing. I was done with that.
Yes, I love Wendy. I have a lot of respect for Wendy. And I'm really sick of her getting like framed as this like villain. I don't understand her villain label.
She didn't even do anything. And I mean, I do have a
I know, that's why I'm
they've always been like shitting on her, which is kind of going back to the colorism thing. They've been always shitting on Wendy all the time. She didn't do anything wrong. They're calling her aggressive. And then when she's talking about being a doctor and all of her degrees, you need to talk about your
they're like, what kind of doctor?
Like, I'm sorry, she's a black woman with 4 degrees who is on the news, which is why I'm wondering why she has so many fucking jobs.
Cool. It's cool.
Like, it's really cool, but like, you don't need to be like, they've never liked Wendy. But they tolerated her to get her to be on their side. But then once they realized that, oh, she's not going to be with us, they're like, let's attack Wendy for doing literally nothing wrong, for defending herself.
Yeah. I think they're all deeply jealous of Wendy because she's accomplished in her career and she has a successful marriage. And I don't think any of them can say that.
Yeah. Her husband enjoys her company, so she's a threat. Her husband likes to spend time with her and doesn't hate her.
Yeah.
On the screen. Yeah. So they're just like, they cannot stand it.
God forbid.
God, Giselle fucking pisses me off. I get so angry when I just like think about Giselle. She's so stupid. She's gonna get a big shakeup because they're pissed at both of them. And then did you hear that Eminem is suing them? That's like real.
Yes. I don't understand why, because when they showed their live shows, there were like 25 people there. I swear to God, I have more listeners than Reasonably Shady.
Like, it's going to damage the brand. I don't think the Eminem stands and the people who listen to Reasonably Shady are like in the same Venn diagram circle. I don't think that's the T.
Yeah. No.
But I would love to see them in court together, though.
No, Eminem, you don't have to worry about them. They look alike with that blonde hair, blue eyes.
They probably have the same mother.
Yeah. I'm dead. All right. Okay. Now it's time to move on to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in the post Rena era and our predictions, reactions, etc., etc. Okay. First of all, let's just talk about last season in its entirety. Number one, do you think that Rena deserved to be fired?
Yes, put on pause. It was a lot and it was dark. And I love
It
me
was
some
dark.
Kathy Hilton. I love me some Hiltons. I think that I think Kathy said some old timey slur that no one's heard in like 75 years. That's what I think happened. But like that's what Erica was trying to say she did. But like the thing is, I know Rena was like, all right, I need this. I need this storyline, whatever. But Kyle was like, I understand, but as my friend, can you just let it go? Can you just like move on? And Rena was like, fuck you, Kyle. So not only did she piss off Kathy Hilton, pissed off Kyle, and just the entire group and alienated herself. And then you have her henchman, Erica. Like, I think there needed to be a shakeup. And I don't think that Rena and Kyle, because the fans love Kathy and they want to keep that going on. So I don't think that they can have Rena right now on the show.
Yeah. I definitely felt like after watching the season play out, once she said the line about like I'm gonna get sick and get cancer and die because I can't keep this in any longer, I was like, oh, she's gone. That was the nail in her coffin. I knew when she said that, I was like, she's done. But I just can't believe that we are seeing Lisa Rinna leave before Erica Jane.
I know.
That is just like long-term shocking. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I am flabbergasted about that. But I think it's better to have this single dragon instead of this like three-headed dragon that we had of like Erica, Rena, and Dorit's like mini head off the side there.
Dorit was kind of like breaking away.
And like,
was like, she acted like she had some sense at the reunion because Dorit was like, all right, this is enough. But even like with the cast photo that they posted, you could kind of see the dynamics, and Dorit's kind of like in the
body
middle,
language.
like with the good kids, and then like the bad ones are over on the other side. Dorit's like, let me kind of move over here just a little, let me scoot to the side.
Yeah, it was. This season was hard to get through, and I think that Diana's part in it made it even harder. I think had she not been part of the cast last season, it would have been an easier watch. But I think between Dorit's break-in, which was suspect, Diana's involvement, and then like the racist attacks on little Jax, Erica's drunkenness and attacks on Jax.
It was just so dark.
All the stuff. And then Lisa exposing Kathy. Yeah, it was such a hard watch of a season. And then like the reunion was chaos. And I think like after it was all over, even though like Lisa was clearly the most unhinged, like the person I came away the most angry at was Kyle.
I was so pissed off at Kyle.
So tired of her.
If you don't stand the fuck up and defend your sisters, like, and then you always cry about how they don't talk to you because you let Lisa Rinna just come in and just destroy your family. I was like, stand up.
Yeah, she's such a middle child.
Like, yes, you have to stand up for which do you want more? Do you want to hang out with your family, or do you want to be buddies with Rinna?
Popular.
Yeah, like pick a lane.
Yeah,
and stick to it. And it's just like this cast just needed to heal. Like it was just like so much. And I don't listen to this podcast because I hate Teddy, but I did see a clip where Teddy was saying that Sutton and Garcelle like pander to the fans.
Needed to humble themselves.
Yes. Like Sutton literally said
Fuck
on camera,
Teddy.
I fucking hate Teddy. Sutton said, I do not give a fuck that Dorit got robbed at gunpoint. That's not pandering to the fans. Sutton got shit for that.
No.
Everyone likes Sutton.
Let me tell you something. The person who panders to fans, people who pander to fans, I'll say, Kyle and Dorit.
Yes.
That's who panders to fans. Are you kidding me? I don't understand. Yeah, you're exactly right. Sutton is, just as Diana said, is clumsy with her words. She's very like off the cuff, very honest. I don't think rehearsed in any way, shape, or form. No. That doesn't like I don't understand how she panders to fans at all. And Garcelle is just like a healed, evolved individual. So she's, in other words, likable.
Yeah, people just like her. I mean, Sutton maybe should be more rehearsed because she needs to talk to Erica without fucking crying. Like, she needs to be more. Yeah. She needs to get, because the way that Sutton just lets Erica punk her out makes me so mad. Like, if you don't clap back at this broke bitch in those earrings, just say so, like, stop hiding behind Garcelle and say something to her. Sue me with what money? She goes, you want to get sued?
Oh my
okay,
God.
Try it, please. Sue me. Who's going to be your lawyer? Not your husband.
Please try. Did you see that Raquel at first hired Erica's PR firm and then they fired her?
The fact that they would rather have Erica Jane than Raquel to represent PR says everything. It says everything we need to know.
Again, and Erica outlasted Rinna. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's got to be some people see something in Erica. I guess like it's that she doesn't really like. I was gonna say she doesn't lie, but she kind of does. But she doesn't overtly lie. She omits information and she twists information, but she doesn't really like outright. Yes, but she doesn't like full on like make shit up.
Yeah. Like,
I guess is noble in this group of people.
When she was drunk and was singing during Christmas, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like, I know you're kind of not the best person, but you can stay, because that was hilarious. Like, can we keep Asher for another season, but just let Diana, like, stay? Just because I just loved how he was like, you can't read those, girl, but she had the script. Like, I'm just like, something's up. Diana had the potential, but she's just like a terrible person. Like, she had the connections and the money to be a great housewife, but she just
not fun to watch.
And she had poor Sutton rattled. Sutton was just like,
well, she was like, she didn't just like not like Sutton. She like wanted Sutton dead. I was like worried for Sutton. I was like, the Bosnians are coming for you.
Right.
Like when Erica the Bosnian mob is coming for you in the night. Yeah. Yeah.
And Diana's like, because she is. And did that like stupid little laugh. And Sutton just started just crying. I'm just like, if you don't lock those tears up, because I've been watching Dance Moms, save the tears for the
I know.
Pillow. I was like, do not
save the tears for the pillow. Yes. Like, yes. I'm dead.
I feel like even Garcelle was like, bitch, you gotta stop. you gotta lock it up. You gotta stop crying.
She's like, you gotta toughen up. I know. Garcelle like never cries unless it's about her boys. Like
as she should. And then,
so what do you right. Yeah. That stuff was heavy. Poor Jax. I hated that. The Erica stuff with Jax was like,
they had no empathy. Like,
they didn't get it
with pencil cover it up. And then that's when Garcelle clocked in because Kyle was like, you should have edited out Diana's name. And Erica's not Erica, Chris, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? My son
Yeah.
is getting racist attacks, and you want me to protect you all? Because we've all been
I loved
there.
that.
We've all been there. When she
Yeah.
did that turn around, she was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, oh,
yeah.
Yep. I imagine if that happened to Portia or Jagger. It would have been a wrap. Erica would have been off the show if she would have told Portia to go fuck herself.
Can you also... Erica can't stand when people like say anything about cops because just her like son is a cop, and we don't even know her son's like goddamn name.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
She almost slit Eileen's
throat. She was ready to. She was ready to throw hands in Amsterdam. Are you kidding? God, the hypocrisy.
I cannot, because it's hard to watch because you literally, it makes my head hurt. I'm just like, wait a second, like you just did this. Like it's so, this season, like everyone needed to heal. Because this season honestly felt like it was like 6 months long. It felt so long.
This one was really hard to get through. It was really hard to get through. And I feel like this is the franchise that gets away with the hypocrisy the most. I think because it's so rampant that like each of the cast members and Andy like don't even have the opportunity to call it out every time that it like comes up, so that they like get away with it more. You know what I'm saying?
It would be like 7 parts if we did that.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
would be so long. There's not enough time.
So I always leave the seasons kind of dissatisfied, but this one I was really like, damn. I was really like, damn, I feel like nobody but I felt like the Richards sisters got their feet held to the fire and nobody else did. I felt like Kyle and Kathy really had to, and Renna even, a little like about their situation specifically, really got grilled. But other than that, like I feel like Dorit got off real easy this season.
She made off like a bandit. Camp counselor Dorit. She was like, I feel like you should talk to Kyle. I was like, I don't want to hear from you right now. And she's like, all right, I'll shut the fuck up because that's basically what she said.
I know. Dorit is probably now my least favorite on the cast now that Renna's gone.
I used to hate Dorit during like the Pantygate thing with Erica because I really liked Erica. I have never done a full 180 on a housewife as much as Dorit. It was Kelly Dodd.
You like her now?
And then I went back to hating Kelly Dodd. I was
we gotta talk about that after this.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
That's what we gotta end on. Yeah. That one's bad.
Stupid bitch. Anyway.
God. How is she even? I can't. I don't want to. Honestly, whatever. We'll just jump into that now. Whatever. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They're filming now. They just started filming. So does that mean it's coming this summer?
I feel like it. And then I know they're bringing in some new ladies. I'm excited, just because they're bringing it. They're going on a cast trip, but you can kind of see the dynamics of the photos. I don't know how this happened, but Erica and Sutton got put together for a photo, and you could just feel like there's like a big ass gap in their picture of them together. They're already like arm around. It was just like, all right, I'm gonna stand right here.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. We're going to have a brunette Dorit because she had a good season with the fans. So she's going to think that she's Queen Bee because Kyle kind of got a little bit of a lashing. So now Dorit's going to... I don't want to see a lot of Dorit, even though her kids are funny. And PK is like...
She just annoyed me so much. I hate PK. Ooh, I hate PK. He's in shady,
like that DUI type thing, and didn't even like tell her. But I did love when she read him for having like 4 Diet Cokes at like 10 a.m. and he has diabetes. That was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. That was funny. He's like, I like Diet Cokes. I'm like, same, honestly.
Like tea. So
I have like 2 Diet Cokes a day. Yeah. I'm a Diet Coke girly. Okay, so last thing, yes, this Kelly Dodd, Heather Dubrow latest bullshit. Heather Dubrow's child recently came out as transgender and renamed himself to Ace. And Heather announced this on Instagram, reintroducing her son as Ace. It's her youngest, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it's the youngest one, yeah. He's like 12.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah, 12. And of course, Kelly Dodd, who was Heather's former castmate on Real Housewives of OC, of course, made this stupid, shitty, bigoted, podcast, I guess, with her stupid husband, who's like a former pundit on Fox News, about how Heather's not a real mother, and why is she letting her son do this, and was intentionally misgendering the child and all this.
Because
yeah,
Kelly and Heather, Heather literally sued Kelly 2 years ago because she said that Heather's son gave her COVID. And so Heather's gonna sue Kelly again. Because she was like, well, this is a child. Why are you gonna wait for him to say when he's ready, when you're saying it right now? And Heather's like, you think I didn't talk to him and say that?
Yeah.
And
yeah, so Heather responded in her own podcast and was basically like, obviously there was an outpouring of support, but there was a lot of haters as well, and didn't name who she was talking to, but was how did she address Kelly in her podcast?
She didn't mention Kelly by name, of course, but she did just kind of go point by point about what Kelly was saying. She was like, I'm an amazing mother because I'm allowing my children to be free and express themselves and make a safe space for them. The reason you think I didn't talk to him, and before I just said it out loud, we talked about it, and I asked him if it was okay if I post this, so people stop people to stop misgendering him and using the dead name. And he's also not the first trans kid in the OC universe, because Alexis Jesus Jugs Bellino, her son is trans, which is, I think, a wild development, because Alexis was high key awful when she was on the show, just with so ass backwards and everything. So I was very pleased that Alexis was so open and welcoming, and it's like applauding a fish for swimming, just being a good parent and being a good person. Being just a nice. I still understand what Kelly's constant beef with Heather is. You don't.
Well, it also just scares me because she's a mom, and it's so if your child came to you seriously, you would just be like, fuck you. I guess it's just I guess I understand I understand, but I hear the criticism of posting about it, I suppose.
Same.
But Kelly is right that it's well, we are a public family and people are using the wrong gender and the dead name. But
yes.
I don't know. It's just I just think it's so insane, to be a mother herself and to criticize Heather for honoring
supporting
what her child. Yeah, and at 12, it's don't act like at 12 you're not familiar with your body. Don't
Right.
act like at 12 you're not familiar with your wants and needs. Don't act like at 12 you're like so in the dark about your sexuality. Like, sure, you may not like,
Know the full-
fully understand your like sexual like prowess, but obviously, like at 12, you know what gender you are by 12.
Exactly. And it's just like, I just don't understand the punching down to a child. Being 12, you're already.
Yeah.
I was thinking about when I was 12. I was going through some shit with my body. I was on,
Dude.
the ED Tumblr, the Live Journal, and everything. And that was me being a cis hetero girl. I can only imagine piling onto that, me being trans, and having some random bitch who my mom didn't get along with 7 years ago just start dunking on me for no fucking reason. Like
Publicly to strangers
who are just like,
an adult lady.
I don't believe in posting
fuck that. I mean,
children anyway, so I'm just like, I just don't. People like post their kids all the time. I'm not a big fan of that. But I guess if you're in the public eye, you kind of have to. But I was just like, when I saw that pissed me off so much for Kelly, because I was like, Kelly's awful, but she was good TV. But then after that, I'm just like, no, bitch, fuck you, stay gone, because that's how.
Well, I also here's the thing. The thing about me with Kelly also in about like protecting children, I will never forget her first season on the OC and her talking about how her husband at the time was a diagnosed narcissist and she was raising a child with him. Yeah. So I don't fucking want to hear about how you're such a good mom and how you like protect your kids and protecting children and all this shit when you were knowingly raising a child with a diagnosed narcissist. I have some books for you to read. You dumb whore.
We can send them to your P.O. box.
Yeah.
Along with some job applications.
Yeah.
Because you're both unemployed. Neither of you have jobs.
Yes.
It's just
the worst.
I cannot with her.
Boo. All right. Well, I think that's a good place to end. This was great. And you have 30 minutes till Drag Race starts. So there you go. I'm going to watch Sibling Watchery. That's how I get my Drag Race news. I watch Sibling Watchery and the Pit Stop, but I don't actually watch Drag Race, which is
that is so
a crime
funny
probably, but I know.
I was like, wait,
I just like hate competition shows. I hate competition shows because I hate like actually like, first of all, I hate anything where like there are judges because I like to be the judge. So that's part of the reason why. And I always disagree with Michelle Basat. Yeah, one glass of wine and I can't say Michelle Visage. But yeah. So I just have to watch the recap, otherwise I get too mad.
Yeah, and I also do a good recap, maybe too much, because I'll like text you just like a thesis on what happened, and you're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, but it helps, but it's great because then I watch Bob and Monet and then it all makes sense. Or I watch the Pit Stop, and isn't it Bianca right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love Bianca. I love her.
Me up.
I love it. She's so funny. And she's so old. And it's funny because every single guest is like, you're so old.
And she like is old.
Every single guest that comes on is like,
she will just say whatever the fuck she wants to. And people on Twitter are like, Bianca, that was mean. And she's like, I'm like a 60-year-old man in a dress. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Great episode. And I'm sure that we'll be talking about Scandival / tomfoolery for weeks to come.
When the new shit comes on.
God bless.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Yes, we'll have you back again soon for sure. Thank you for coming on.
Bye.
All right. I love you.
I love you too.
Bye.